Level 1, New Graduate Software Engineer. You sign the offer letter on a Tuesday. Your hand shakes slightly. The campus is designed to feel like a reward. Free food, bike paths, a climbing wall nobody climbs, a cafeteria with a name like a national park. You are 22 years old. You do not know what you do not know. Your onboarding buddy shows you the code base on day 2. It is 11 years old in places. It is held together by comments that say, "Do not touch." You touch nothing. The development environment takes 3 days to set up. The documentation for it is wrong in 4 places. You fix the documentation. Nobody asked you to. This is the best thing you do all month. The recruiter said 2 years to promotion. You write it on a sticky note. You put it on your monitor. Your first code review comes back with 40 comments. None of them are about the logic. All of them are about the style. Line length, variable naming, comment formatting. You did not go to school for this. You fix all 40. You smile at the reviewer in the hallway the next day. He does not remember your name. You share an apartment with 2 other engineers from onboarding. The commute is 40 minutes each way. You eat dinner at 10 p.m. most nights. You call it a lifestyle. It is not a lifestyle. Your team lead assigns you a ticket. Estimated effort, 2 weeks. You finish in 5 days. You feel invincible for approximately 1 afternoon. The ticket had already been built once, 3 years ago, by someone who left. It was removed because it caused a production incident. No one tells you this until after the launch. Your version causes a smaller incident. You stay until midnight fixing it. You do not put this on your performance self-review. You are not sure if you should. The sticky note about 2 years is on your monitor. You look at it every morning. You stop looking at it after a while. It is still there. Level 2 Software Engineer. You move off the ticket queue. Mostly. Now you own a feature end-to-end. You learn what end-to-end actually means. It means the product manager, the designer, the data scientist, and the legal team all have opinions. It means you are the one who reconciles them. It means you are responsible when it breaks at 3 a.m. It breaks at 3 a.m. The pager goes off on a Saturday in September. You are at your college friend's wedding in Portland. You step outside during the cocktail hour and fix it in a parking garage. The fix takes 22 minutes. You come back in during the first dance. Your phone has 4 missed calls from your partner. Nobody at the wedding notices you were gone. You notice. Your roommates from onboarding have scattered. One took a Series A job and works 80 hours a week voluntarily. One moved back to Ohio to be near family. You video call them less every month. This happens without a decision. Performance review season arrives in November. You have shipped 3 features. One was well received. One was quietly deprecated 6 weeks after launch. One is still in beta, which means it is nobody's problem yet. Your manager says you are meeting expectations. You had expected more than that. You read the meeting expectations band descriptor 4 times. It is accurate. The review rubric has a section called Impact. Impact means your work moved a metric. You do not fully understand which metrics matter. You ask your manager. He says think bigger. You think bigger. You propose a new caching layer for the search pipeline. You estimate it will cut latency by 30%. The proposal is good. A senior engineer rewrites it, cleans up the technical framing, puts her name on it. Yours is in the acknowledgments section. You watch it ship. You watch the latency drop. You say nothing. That was a choice. You remember making it. The sticky note about 2 years is still on your monitor. It is 18 months in. You take it down on a Friday afternoon. You throw it away without looking at it. Level 3 Senior Software Engineer. The promotion email arrives on a Thursday at 4 p.m. HR sends a PDF with your new compensation details. Your base goes up, your equity refreshes. Nobody throws a party for senior. You learn this the day of. You are now expected to author the design doc, not just review it. You write your first one alone over a weekend. It is 12 pages. It has 5 alternatives considered, 3 open questions, and a security section. Your tech lead reads it Monday morning and says cut it in half. You cut it in half. You remove the parts you are most proud of. It is better without them. You resent this for about a week. Then you start cutting earlier. Mentoring is now part of the job description. A new grad is assigned to shadow you for her first quarter. She reminds you of yourself 2 years ago, but sharper. She asks better questions than you did. She also breaks the staging environment on her second week. You fix it without making it a thing. You remember someone doing that for you. The scope of your work expands sideways. Other teams ask for your input in their design reviews. You sit in rooms with engineers 2 levels above you. You learn to speak before you are fully certain. This takes practice. It feels like lying at first. It is not lying. You meet Marcus at an internal tech talk on distributed systems. He is a senior engineer on the infrastructure team. He is 34, which feels older than it is. He has a daughter named Priya. He keeps her photo taped inside his laptop lid, next to a sticky note that says "Call Mom Sundays." He laughs at his own jokes before he finishes them. He starts getting on a call with you every Friday. Just to talk architecture. No agenda. No ticket. He is the first person at this company who asks how you are doing and waits for the actual answer. Not how the project is doing, how you are doing. You work late together on a distributed tracing rollout for 6 weeks. The problem is harder than either of you estimated. You order dinner to the office 4 times. It works perfectly on launch day. The one-call alerts go quiet. You buy him a coffee to celebrate. He says he is trying to cut back. He holds the cup anyway. You notice he looks tired in a way that is not about sleep. At home things are fraying. Small things at first. A dinner missed, then 2, then a whole week of late arrivals. A trip to see her family rescheduled 3 times. Your partner stops asking when you will be home. She leaves the porch light on. You tell yourself that is a good sign, but is not a good sign. It is just a light. Level 4 Staff Software Engineer. The staff promotion takes 4 years at Senior. You almost leave twice. The first time you get a recruiter message and update your resume just to see how it feels. It feels good. You do not send it. The second time you have an actual offer letter. A competitor. More equity. A bigger title. You bring it to your manager. They match the equity. They do not match the title. They say trust the process. You trust the process. This is the second choice you will think about later. Now you are in the room for annual roadmap planning. This sounds like arriving somewhere. It is mostly 3 hours of arguing about what the word priority means. You leave with a list. The list changes 2 weeks later. This is normal. You lead your first cross-functional initiative. 5 teams, 14 engineers across 3 time zones. A VP sponsors it. His name goes on the launch announcement. Yours goes in the technical appendix. You wrote no production code for 6 weeks during the planning phase. This troubles you more than you expected. You open your code editor some evenings just to feel it. You fix small bugs nobody asked you to fix. You close the laptop and go to bed. The new grad you mentored is now senior. This happened in 2.5 years. She is better at the job than you were at her stage. You tell her this directly over lunch. She does not believe you. You mean it anyway. On a Tuesday in March, Marcus does not join the Friday architecture call. You wait 10 minutes, then start without him. His manager emails the team that afternoon. The email is 4 sentences. Marcus died of a cardiac event on Monday evening. He was 39. The email does not mention Priya. You think about her for days without having a place to put it. You never met her. You have her father's architectural diagrams still open in a browser tab. His comments are still in the doc. Precise and slightly funny, the way he was. You close the tab on a Thursday. You do not close it because you are finished grieving. You close it because you cannot look at his name in the contributor list anymore. You give a talk at an internal engineering summit the following month. 400 people watch on live stream. The talk is about reliability engineering. You do not mention Marcus. You had drafted a sentence about him. You cut it the night before. You should not have cut it. Level 5 Senior Staff Software Engineer. You stop counting years at some point. You are not sure when. This is either wisdom or a defense mechanism, probably both. You own a technical domain now, not a feature, not a system, a domain. Search ranking, payments infrastructure, ML training platform. The domain has its own roadmap, its own one-call rotation, its own political geography. When something breaks badly enough, executives say your name in the post-mortem. You are in the room before they finish saying it. You have developed opinions about org structure. This is a symptom. You write these opinions in careful documents. They go to your VP, who reads them on a plane. Sometimes something changes. Usually 6 months later, for reasons that may or may not be related. You learn not to track causality too closely. You interview external staff candidates now. Some of them are better than you were at that stage. A few are better than you are now. You recommend them anyway. Your manager notices this and mentions it as a strength. It does not feel like a strength, it feels like accuracy. Your partner and you separate in October. It is quiet. Nobody raises a voice. You sit at the kitchen table for a long time after the conversation. The apartment has good light in the evenings. You have never noticed this before. You both know what happened. You chose this job over dinner, over weekends, over being present in the specific way she needed. Not once, repeatedly. For years. Neither of you says this out loud during the conversation. It does not need to be said out loud. You take 2 weeks off. The first week you sleep and read and go on walks. The second week you check Slack on Tuesday morning, then again Tuesday afternoon. By Thursday you are working 3 hours a day. You tell no one. A junior engineer on your team makes the same architecture mistake you made 7 years ago. The exact same one. You catch it in code review. You write 3 sentences of feedback. Direct, kind, specific. You remember the 40 comments. You remember fixing all 40 and smiling in the hallway. You do not write 40 comments. Level 6, Principal Engineer. There are 11 principal engineers at the company. You are one of them. You count the list sometimes to confirm this. Your calendar belongs to other people now. Every hour is a meeting about a meeting's outcomes. You block 2 hours every morning for thinking time. People schedule over it. You block it again. They schedule over it again. This is a negotiation with no end state. You write a position paper arguing the company should reduce meeting load by 40%. It is well reasoned. It cites 3 internal studies. It generates a steering committee. The steering committee meets weekly. You travel to the London office, the Singapore office, the New York office. You shake hands with engineers who have read your internal tech talks. This is genuinely strange. You are still the person who fixed a production incident in a parking garage during a wedding. You are also this. Both are true at the same time. You define the technical strategy for the next 3 years. You write it in January. In March, a competitor ships something that changes 2 of your assumptions. You revise. In July, the company reorganizes. You revise again. The document is live. It is never finished. You get an email from your ex-partner. She is remarrying. The email is brief and kind, which is like her. She says she wanted you to hear it from her. You reply the next day. You write and delete 6 drafts. The one you send is 3 sentences. You are glad for her, and you mean it. Engineers bring you problems that have no clean solution. Sometimes you find one. Sometimes you reframe the problem until a different solution appears. Sometimes you sit with them and say, I do not know yet. Let us think. You spent 11 years learning to say, I do not know, without your voice tightening. It still tightens occasionally. You have learned to keep talking anyway. A 24-year-old engineer corners you after a tech talk. He wants to know the fastest path to principal. He has a spreadsheet, literally a spreadsheet, timelines, competency gaps, milestone targets. You look at it for a moment. You say, outlast the version of yourself that needs the credit. He nods like he is filing it away. He does not understand it yet. That is correct. You did not either. You understood it sometime around year 9, in a hospital waiting room, thinking about Marcus. Level 7 Distinguished Engineer. The title change comes with no ceremony. An email from HR, a Slack message from your VP with 3 exclamation points. A calendar hold for a photo update. You are one of 4 distinguished engineers at the company. Your scope, on paper, is the entire engineering organization. This is not a metaphor, and it is also not entirely real. Your actual scope is the intersection of what you know, who listens, and what is on fire. You meet with the CTO once a month. These are the best meetings you have. He disagrees with you directly. You disagree back. Something useful comes from most of them. You have opinions about where the industry is going. You share them externally now. At conferences, in interviews, in occasional essays. People quote you. This is flattering for about a week each time. Then you read the quote out of context and it sounds like someone else. You write less code than at any point in your career. You write more words than ever before. Strategy documents, technical reviews, architectural position papers, mentorship plans. You did not become an engineer to write position papers. You write them because nobody else will write the right ones. This is different from wanting to. A journalist profiles you for a technology publication. She asks about work-life balance. You answer carefully. You describe boundaries and intention and deliberate choices. She prints the careful answer. You read the profile on a Saturday morning. You do not recognize the person being described. The person in the article has it figured out. You speak at an external conference in the fall. A young woman in the second row takes notes on everything you say. She is 22, maybe 23. She has the focused, slightly overwhelmed look of someone in their first year. She reminds you of the junior engineer you mentored at Snior, who reminded you of yourself at onboarding, who reminded you of the person who signed a piece of paper with a shaking hand. After the talk, she waits until the room clears. She asks one question. How do you know when you have made it? You pause. You say something about sustained impact. You say something about the problems only you can see. You say something about legacy. She writes it down. You take the train home. You stare out the window for 40 minutes. You think about what you actually wanted to say, which was, I am still not sure, which was, the question gets quieter, but it does not go away, which was, find someone like Marcus early and do not let the work eat the friendship. You did not say any of that. You should have. Level 8, Fellow. The company has awarded this title 6 times in its history. You are the 7th. There is no promotion packet, no peer review committee. The CEO calls you on a Tuesday afternoon. The call is 4 minutes long. He says the company, and then your name, and then the word fellow. You say thank you. You hang up and sit very still for a while. You are 47 years old. You have been at this company, with one gap year that turned into 8 months, for over 2 decades. You know where the bodies are buried, metaphorically. You helped bury some of them. The work now is almost entirely ahead of the horizon. You identify problems that do not exist yet. You think about architectural decisions the company will need to make in 5 years. Sometimes you are right, and the decision comes up, and your framework is waiting. Sometimes the problem dissolves before it arrives, and you get credit for preventing it. Sometimes you were wrong, and nothing is said about it. This is, in its way, a form of freedom. You mentor the distinguished engineer who is the most likely next fellow. She is sharper than you were, more precise, less patient with ambiguity, which will cost her something before it makes her better. You see the gaps, and you do not fill them for her. You describe the shape of them. This is harder than filling them. She asks you one afternoon, directly, whether you have regrets. You think about the question for a moment. You think about Marcus and his daughter and the tab you closed too early. You think about a parking garage in Portland and a porch light left on. You think about a sticky note on a monitor that said 2 years. You think about the journalist's profile and not recognizing the person inside it. You say some. She waits. You do not elaborate. She nods and goes back to the whiteboard. You are grateful she does not push. You go into the office on a Wednesday, which you rarely do anymore. You walk through the atrium. Free food. Bike paths. A climbing wall nobody climbs. A cafeteria with a name like a national park. It looks exactly the same as it did when you were 22. This is either comforting or unsettling. You are not sure which. Near the front entrance, a young person is standing at a table alone. New hire lanyard. First day backpack. They are reading a piece of paper. Their hand shakes slightly. You watch them pick up the pen. You watch them sign it. You do not walk over. You do not introduce yourself or offer advice or say anything at all. You walk to the elevator and press the button for your floor. The doors close. They do not know what they do not know. Neither did you. Neither, in the ways that matter.